Hello. In this video, we'd like to talk to you about making better business decisions. Small business leaders are telling us that they're finding it a lot harder to know what to do and to make decisions. We're all being bombarded with information and opinion about a totally unfamiliar set of circumstances that affect us personally and professionally. The official guidance is often unclear. We find it confusing at best and overwhelming at worst. This is what the military refer to as VUCA times: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Those of us leading businesses and teams often feel like we should be the heroic, decisive leader who can tell everyone what to do in a crisis. But do we expect too much of ourselves? And is this the right approach for now? Look, we're just human after all. As leaders, we do need to help people to make sense of all the noise and to see the direction of travel for the short to medium term. But how do you think clearly and find your wisdom at a time of overwhelm? There are simple and easily available techniques, and I've coached dozens of people in these life skills. They help you to assess all your options, to sense into what is best for you to do now, and to look after yourself in the process. Psychologically, this new situation is triggering the primitive parts of our brain, the reptilian brain, which is all about survival. You may know it as the fight, flight, freeze, or faint response. It's just what happens to us humans. It's normal. You may think you don't recognise this in yourself, but the less extreme behaviours, however, might be familiar. Perhaps you become strongly assertive and directive, telling others what to do. Or maybe you tend toward people-pleasing as a way of calming them down. Or perhaps you wait for others to make decisions and then follow on. These are all completely understandable, but not highly effective strategies. You can create the conditions in which you can properly assess whose guidance you trust. You can make the best decisions for your specific circumstances, with your colleagues, with your business contacts, and with your family. So how do you wise up? Well, there are 3 simple steps, and there's plenty of evidence to suggest that these reflective practices give you access to your wisdom and space in which to think clearly. And I urge you to open your mind to having a go, even if these feel unfamiliar. The steps are breathing, posture, and releasing tension. So why does it work? In survival mode, the brain releases cortisol and adrenaline, which flood our system, putting us into a reactive mode, not a thinking mode. Step 1 is breathing. Oh, of course you're breathing. I'm sure you're going to tell me that. But a good thing too, because if we had to consciously think about breathing all the time, we'd forget while we're busy doing other things. But what we do in survival mode is often stop breathing for quite some time, or we shallow breathe right at the top of our chest. If we practice deep breathing, our lungs can oxygenate the blood efficiently and send it to the prefrontal cortex of our brain, where we do our sophisticated and creative thinking, where we make sense of our surroundings and our situation. So just put a hand on your belly now and think about breathing into the base of your lungs, so that your hand moves out slightly with the in-breath and in slightly with the out-breath. It takes practice. Step 2 is posture. You'll notice that to breathe to the base of your lungs, you need to be upright and open-chested. Spending hours slumped in a chair, over a keyboard or on the phone can ruin your posture, especially if you don't have the right setup. And when you sit tall with your shoulder blades down your back, you feel more dignified, as well as being able to breathe more easily. And others will see you as dignified and confident, even on a computer screen in a Zoom room. It takes practice. Step 3 is releasing tension. We hold anxiety in our bodies. Typical places are our foreheads, our jaw, neck and shoulders, and the gut. Your body will know you're stressed or anxious before your thinking does. So take time to notice where you hold tension in yourself and intentionally release that tension with an out breath. It takes practice. So the 3 steps are breathing, posture, and releasing tension. They're always available to you. I urge you to practice 3 times a day. Find something that you do regularly to remind you, such as boiling the kettle, washing up, or during meal times. You'll feel better, you'll think better, and you'll be a better listener to those you trust and those who are affected by the decisions that you make. You'll also be able to call on these techniques at times of stress if you've practiced regularly. So practice, practice, practice. Create the space in which to do better business planning and make better decisions. And enjoy the practice. Thank you.